Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's tax cut fairy tale crumbles under real-life scrutiny. Listen up, because Mr. Orange Trump Epstein is back at it again, yapping nonstop about how his tax cuts supposedly fixed America for everybody. Fixed what, exactly? The stock market for his billionaire pals. Because down here in the real world, where folks juggle 3 crappy jobs just to scrape together $800 or $900 a month, nothing feels fixed. Rents skyrocketing past $1,300 in most places, bills pile up like unpaid parking tickets, and forget about buying decent food without rationing every bite. This guy struts around claiming he made everything great, but for who? His donor buddies and megacorporations, that's who. The rest of us? We're the suckers footing the bill while he golfs and grins. Let's break this down without the sugarcoating. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein loves bragging about those 2017 tax cuts like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. He says they put money back in people's pockets, boosted the economy, and created jobs galore. Yeah, right, if by people. He means the top 1% who saw their effective tax rates drop like a rock, sure. Corporations got a permanent slash from 35% to 21%, and what did they do with all that extra cash? Stock buybacks, executive bonuses, and mergers that kill competition. Trickle-down economics. More like piss-on-the-poor economics. The average worker got a crumbs, maybe an extra $20 a week if they were lucky, and now that's evaporated with inflation eating everything alive. But wait, there's more sarcasm incoming. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein insists the country was thriving under him, with low prices and endless prosperity. Tell that to the families cutting meat portions in half just to make groceries last the week. Tell it to the parents terrified their kid gets a fever because a doctor visit means choosing between medicine and electricity. Health care. He gutted the Affordable Care Act protections, let states slash Medicaid, and watched premiums balloon. People are paying taxes into Social Security, Medicare, food stamps, and affordable housing programs, but his administration hacked away at them like a chainsaw through butter. Billions redirected to tax breaks for the ultra-rich, while food banks report record lines and evictions hit all-time highs. And who's really pulling the strings here? Word on the street and in the headlines is that J.D. Vance, his running mate, might be the brains trying to steer this sinking ship. Vance talks a big game about helping the working class, but let's be real, he's just another suit in the MAGA circus. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein rambles incoherently half the time, mixing up names, dates, and basic facts. Is Vance whispering the tax cut script in his ear? Because the policies sure as hell aren't coming from a place of understanding everyday struggle. They're cooked up in boardrooms with lobbyists who donate millions to keep the gravy train rolling, dive deeper into the numbers, because facts don't lie like politicians do. Before Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's tax overhaul, the federal deficit was already a mess, but his cuts added about $1.9 trillion to it over a decade, according to the Congressional Budget Office. Who pays for that? Not the corporations hoarding cash overseas, not the donors getting sweetheart deals. It's us, the 99%, through higher interest rates, cut services, and a crumbling infrastructure that makes commuting a nightmare. Roads full of potholes, bridges on the verge of collapse, schools underfunded, but hey, at least Boeing and Amazon are swimming in profits. Now picture this, a single mom in Ohio working 2 shifts at a warehouse and a fast food joint, bringing home that measly $900. Her rent, $1,400 for a 2-bedroom that's falling apart. Utilities another $200, gas for the beat-up car to get to work pushes $300 with prices still jacked up from supply chain chaos he never fixed. Groceries? She's clipping coupons, buying the cheapest generic stuff, and still skipping meals so her kids eat meat. That's a luxury now, chicken breasts sliced thin, ground beef stretched with beans and rice. And heaven forbid someone gets sick. No insurance means emergency room debt that buries families for years. This is the great America Mr. Orange Trump Epstein boasts about. Give me a break. He claims prices are low under his watch. Low compared to what? The Great Depression? Gas was cheaper for a bit, sure, but that's global oil markets, not his genius. Eggs, milk, bread staples are up 20 to 30% since he left office, but the pain started way before. His trade wars with China slapped tariffs that American companies passed right onto consumers. Farmers got bailouts paid by taxpayers while everyone else paid more for appliances and clothes, and don't get me started on healthcare costs. Deductibles through the roof, prescriptions that cost an arm and a leg literally, because who can afford insulin at full price? The hypocrisy burns brighter than a dumpster fire. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein and his crew slashed funding for SNAP, that's food stamps for the uninitiated, by billions, claiming it encourages dependency. Meanwhile, his tax cuts let the wealthiest avoid paying their fair share, starving the very programs workers fund with every paycheck. Social Security. He floated ideas to privatize it, which would turn retirement into a casino game for Wall Street. Affordable housing. HUD budgets gutted, leading to longer waitlists and more homelessness. Veterans, who he claims to love, saw VA funding fights that left many without proper care. But oh, the donors are thrilled. Oil tycoons, real estate moguls, pharma giants, they poured money into his campaigns and got deregulation bonanzas in return. Environmental rules tossed out, letting polluters dump whatever. Worker protections weakened, making overtime harder to claim and unions a punching bag. And his trillionaire buddies? Elon Musk types cozying up, getting government contracts and subsidies while preaching free market BS. It's a rigged game where the house always wins and the house is Mar-a-Lago. Let's talk about the human cost, because numbers are cold, but stories hit home. Take Detroit, where auto workers once had solid middle-class lives. Post-tax cuts, plants closed or automated away jobs, wages stagnated, and benefits vanished. A guy I know, call him Mike, works the line, pulls 60 hours a week, and still qualifies for food assistance. His wife's a nurse aide, no benefits, and their kids' asthma means constant worry. They pay taxes, oh do they pay, but see zero return. No help with childcare, no tax credit that actually covers costs. Meanwhile, Mr. Orange Trump Epstein tweets about how unemployment was low. Yeah, because people like Mike are working themselves to death, or head to rural America where he claims undying loyalty. Farms bankrupt at record rates under his watch, thanks to those tariff-sparking retaliatory hits from trading partners. Subsidies went to the biggest agribusinesses, not family operations. Small towns hollowed out, hospitals closing because Medicaid expansion was blocked in red states. Opioid crisis raging, but funding for treatment? Slashed. People dying in the streets while he parties with Epstein's old crowd. Wait, scratch that, but you get the point. And the fear God, the constant fear. Parents lying awake calculating if they can afford the pediatrician. Seniors choosing between meds and meals. Young folks drowning in student debt with no relief because tax cuts didn't touch that. It's a pressure cooker ready to explode, and Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's solution? More tax cuts for the rich. Because clearly, that's what fixes starvation and despair. Critics, real ones, not the Fox News echo chamber, point out the obvious. A truly booming economy doesn't leave millions food insecure. The USDA reports over 44 million Americans struggled with hunger last year, up from pre-pandemic levels. Child poverty spiked after his child tax credit changes lapsed. Homelessness up 12% in major cities. But sure, tell me again how everything's peaky. Vance might be the one trying to humanize this mess, talking about forgotten men and women, but actions speak louder. His policies align with the same old playbook: deregulate, cut taxes on the top, and let the chips fall. If he's making decisions for Mr. Orange Trump Epstein, it's still the same poison in a different bottle, the American dream. It's morphed into a nightmare for most. Work hard, play by the rules, and end up broken. That's not prosperity, that's exploitation. Workers fund the system, but the system funnels it upward. Corporations post record profits, Apple sitting on hundreds of billions while wages barely budge after inflation. CEO pay up 1,000% since the 70s, worker pay up maybe 15%. Tax cuts accelerated that divide. Imagine if those trillions went to universal healthcare like every other developed nation, or infrastructure that creates real jobs, or education without crippling debt. But no, priorities are golf courses and private jets for the elite. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein's lies are transparent to anyone living it. Prices low, groceries say otherwise. Great for all Americans, only if all means his inner circle. The 99% are pawns taxed to enrich the few. Starving kids, uninsured, sick, desperate parents, that's his legacy. It's time to call bullshit on the whole charade. The economy he fixed is a house of cards built on debt and inequality. Real change means taxing the rich fairly, investing in people, not profits. Until then, the struggle continues and the sarcasm writes itself. This isn't just politics, it's survival. Families wearing themselves down, crying over bills, living in constant worry. Is this what we want? Hell no. Mr. Orange Trump Epstein helps donors and corporations using workers to line his pockets, the money he brags about. It's ours, redirected to the top. Wake up, America. The fairy tale's over. I just want to thank you all for listening. Like, share, follow to stay connected. I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the Queen of Crowning Thoughts, because I say it like it is. Copyright 2025, independent writer. Crowning Thoughts truth speaker, AI video content creator, writer, blogger, Santiago DC, Maria. All rights reserved. Today is November 14, 2025.